Rather dick flavoured. Okay. Hello, welcome to Talkin Guff with myself, Ruben Django Pouch, and
your boy Len.
my boy Len, yo. Welcome back, everybody. If anyone's watching, I don't know if they are, but welcome back to you anyway, Len. How was your week?
Thank you so much, man. Good, brother.
Look,
Yeah.
can I just say, look at this hairy-chested seraphim. Look at that.
Look at that.
That's ratings or that's likes.
Yeah,
That's monetized
straight
YouTube
away.
account right there.
Hardly even need this little fella. We just go.
He just sort of adds, he's blending in. I thought that was actually a bit of your chest hair. I thought you were having a powder moment.
Yeah. I'm just old in one very spot. He's like a little bunny rabbit, just lost in the thicket. That's Bill Bailey does a really good bit about when he always wanted to get tattoos, but he's so hairy that his tattooist was like, you'd have to get anything that you get a tattoo of is going to look like it's lost in the forest. So you have to get. So we got like a dogging site and like and all this fucking shit. Yeah, he's very funny. I actually have to do a tiny bit of housekeeping, by the way. I mentioned on the last podcast. Do you remember I was saying about the Irish presidential election? Or whatever? There was a thing I said about your man, the candidate, who was like "fuck travellers" or whatever.
Yeah.
When I was watching that back, I was like, that's totally a bit that this comedian called Kevin McGahern did. So that was just bothering me. I have to get it out. He's an amazing comedian. I saw him do that in Body and Soul. I thought at the time.
So you're stealing comedians' bits.
I'm basically
passing them off as your own on our
passing
podcast.
them is literally what I was doing. Yeah, so I was like, that's so bad. I thought I was like. I was just using the concept.
Clever little plagiarist.
Yeah, no. So bad boy, Len. But you know, I'm growing and I've learned from my mistakes, and I'm growing as a person. And
spiritually, you mean you're growing spiritually? Because I don't think you're growing
stick.
physically.
No. That ship has sailed. That ship has sailed.
Well, maybe your hair is still growing, obviously.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's when the Lord was handing out testosterone and where it was going to go. He said, "This boy, he's not going to be big.
No, he's going to be hairy.
He's not going to be buff, but by God, he's going to be a hairy little chipmunk. We'll see if that sells."
Of course, it's furry.
Furry, yeah.
So, one thing I noticed is that I keep asking people how their week was, but no one seems to ask me how my week was.
I was literally just about to. My bad, man. I was literally going to flip that right back, and you was going to say,
okay.
How was your week? How was your week, brother?
Yeah, my week was fine, actually. I made... because I wanted to do a little bit of housekeeping as well. A couple of episodes ago, I was saying I somehow started talking about Patrice O'Neill and then forgot what it was that had brought me on to talking about Patrice O'Neill. But we were talking about reprisal anxiety, and he has a bit where he's just like talking about Obama being president. He was like, I thought I'd have a white slave by now. He's just like, I got Susan and her big old titties. Why don't you go up and warm my bed for me, Susan?
Bed for me. What?
Feed my baby with those big old titties.
Well, your husband is dead.
Yeah, he's like, well, I go outside and stare at your husband and decide if I'm going to sell him or not. And then he's just like, Philip. That is just, Philip, your wife Susan's up in my bed right now. And he's like, that's uncomfortable, isn't it?
Oh, man. That is the one of that, we could do his bits all day, but the one bit he opens up with that he's like, that's my favourite bit of his, is that he's in the peach suit, whatever he's talking about. You ever be watching the news and like something happened, he'd be like, 30 miners have gone missing in China or whatever. He'd be like, no, I'm going to care about this. Nope.
Nothing.
Yeah.
You're losing your fluff. You're losing your
I need a fluffer.
chest lint.
I need the fluffer in here.
Just
on the reprisal anxiety thing, because I realised we mentioned that before. We didn't explain, just for anyone who's...
Yeah, I got lost there because I started talking about Patrice O'Neill, lost my train of thought, and then, So, Len, would you just fill us in as to what reprisal anxiety is? Really interesting thing, a thing I've been thinking about for a while, and then my super articulate, learned young friend here totally put the term on it. It's learned, Pepe.
Papa Bliss. But thank you, Ruben. Well, if you look at the chart over here, no, it's basically reprisal anxiety. So it is what it says on the tin. It's like the anger or the hatred that a group of people feels towards another group of people because in fact not because of what that group of people has done and what might potentially do to them, but because of what they have done
to the said group.
So
let's just break that down. In America, say, for instance, all these fucking bogan redneck racist cunts are actually afraid of the the minorities they've oppressed, and like obviously, and that's countless in the States, but the minorities they've oppressed becoming not the minority but the majorities, and then seeking revenge or reprisals in a physical sort of way on the oppressors, you know. And I just thought that was really, and there's a thing for the, I don't know, but I just thought that was really interesting.
Well, it ties in as well with the thing you're saying, what Gandhi said about the fingers pointing back at you and everything.
Yeah.
It's the projection of, and again, you see that with the Afrikaners down in South Africa. Leave a little coke for us there, Rob, will you?
Yeah.
And kind of the loyalists up in the north as well. It's this idea of projecting your worst. It's a way of kind of squirreling away your misdeeds and projecting them onto the people you did it to as a sort of retrospective justification. Like the classic example would be, like you say, like the white hate groups in America, or the stereotype that was perpetuated that black men were gonna rape white women if ever they were allowed to rise up, because white men had raped black women for fucking hundreds of years. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, sure. The Europeans probably invented rape, if you go back.
Jeez, man, yeah, that's
Greeks.
The Greeks.
The Greeks. After 20 years of a German being married to a Greek, she must have an arse like a cat flap. That's my favourite.
Is that
Frankie Boyle?
Oh, Frankie Boyle, right.
And what was the other one that there was one in the Frankie Boyle podcast, he's talking about saying it. The joke is basically that it was like things you wouldn't expect the Queen Mother to say, or the Queen Mother to say on Mock the Week, and he comes on and he's like, my pussy is so old it's haunted. There's outrage, and this woman, like this real conservative straight edge woman's on BBC Newsnight or something like this, talking to the head of BBC about programming, and Frankie Boyle says she fucking does the bit. She does it. She does the whole bit in outrage, and your man's just like, I don't know what to say, and it's just. For him, I think he was just like, that's the best thing that could have happened with that joke.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's funny, we were talking about cancel culture, and Frankie Boyle says he was cancelled before cancel culture was a thing. He's been cancelled 4 or 5 times. He's had to claw his way back. What a legend. But anyway, that's my week.
Crazy, yeah.
Couple of things. It was Pancake Tuesday 2 days ago.
Oh shit! Yes, the chef here, man. What did the chef do on
Pancake
Tuesday?
I represented. First of all, I made those fat stack souffle American pancakes for breakfast, and we had some crepes for lunch. But then, did you see what I made on Instagram on my Flavor Country TV? Hashtag Flavor Country TV. That's really the hot new cookery show everyone's talking about. I made a thing called a meal crepe. Now, a meal foy is basically like a cheap layman version of a meal foy is a custard slice. Meal foy is dessert, means 1,000 layer, 1,000 leaves.
Oh, meal foy.
And I made a meal crepe, which is basically the crepe version of a meal foy. And maybe I can send you the photo and we can put it up on my top. But the way you see, I was so impressed when I did it. I was just like, that is fucking Michelin, Ruben.
I even blew my own mind.
I did. So look, you start off with 15, 16 uniform perfect crepes.
Okay.
And we made equal parts mascarpone cream with about 1/3 powdered sugar and some compote we had left over from breakfast. Whipped that up into a delicious foamy.
Oh.
So then you just stack the pancakes.
Son.
Hang about, mate.
Call the cops.
Check this out. Look in there.
Oh man, I love it.
So that's what I did. Meal crepe.
Get in there.
Crepe. Fuck me. I'm not joking. It turns the crepes into something else. It becomes a cake in its own right. Even the next day, it was fucking outrageous.
I think there's a message there for society, you know. As individual crepes, we're tasty.
Yeah.
But when we come together in a stack with...
We're decadent. We're regal. Oh. It's like, together, apes. Strong. No.
Although I will admit that is kind of that's like, you know, the whole sticks together thing is like the principle of fascism, I think, you know. I mean, but that's kind of coincidentally, you know, that's what they always say.
Okay, yeah. I lost my. Okay, so we always talk about, and we won't go too far into this, but just a quick one. We always talk about the great events of World War II in colour. We love it. It's a historical documentary on Netflix. Have you seen the Ken Burns Vietnam War documentary?
Oh yes, sir. Yes, sir. I fucking
Anyone
have.
who hasn't seen that, you're a moron, go and watch it.
I'll tell
Sorry,
you
that
how
was
good
aggressive.
how good that is. I watched that there a month or two ago, and I kind of just nothing else I've found
Matches
is
it.
giving me that
And
satisfaction.
it's 15 hours, and you
Oh,
still
it's
just
crazy.
bailed through it. So that was really good, and I had forgotten that I watched that about a year ago, and then I was just looking at a few bits of it there the other day. But a little angel showed me a thing there called All Gas, No Brakes.
Oh, you were saying
Oh
something
my
about this
God,
to me
we could do a
before.
podcast. Andrew Callahan.
Yeah.
So there's a Vice
yeah.
documentary, 20-minute Vice documentary about him, which is actually really interesting. Like, he's brain damaged from taking magic mushrooms, hitting hard on magic mushrooms when he was 14.
Really?
Yeah, he's got the contrails and all the whole time, the filters, like that sort of iridescent thing the whole time. And that guy, honestly, Len, just go onto the All Gas No Brakes channel and just go through the like 8-9 minutes, just little hitters, and like he's doing stuff more real level of journalism or whatever you want to call it than anyone else on the planet at the moment. He's in Target when they're ripping it apart in the middle of Minneapolis. He's outside.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
He just, I'm fucking a mannequin.
Swear to God.
cool.
And he does this interview outside the burning cop shop. Like, it's fucking powerful stuff.
Yeah.
And he's got the perfect...
looseness, I'd say.
No, he's got this Louis Theroux vibe going on. You know, and I would never be good at this level of interview because I can't shut up. Say nothing. Chap says nothing, and people just spin out of control and say, well, and 9 times out of 10 they just turn around and say, spew some racist nationalist shit, like when he's talking to the Bogans and all. But some of the stuff he's talking to young black men and women in Minneapolis and Portland, right? Is it Minneapolis where they had the second bout of hardcore
Kenosha, is that what you're saying?
No,
Kenosha, no.
there was another one after the guy. No, because that guy was from Kenosha, Wisconsin, but the thing had happened somewhere. I can't remember. He was at it, and he interviews a guy where they burnt the cop shop, and he interviews this young black man outside the cop shop. Oh, it's so good. And there's another one where he interviews a guy in Portland, and like, your man's shining on, and he's like, "Do you want us to blur your face out?" And he's like, "No, I don't give a fuck. This is my town." And you're just like, wagwan, bro. Wagwan. So anyone who hasn't watched All Gas No Brakes, I suggest you watch it. You could literally do a whole podcast about him, maybe. It's just so interesting.
About this dude.
He has a podcast as well now.
Oh, right, yeah, he does. I saw that. It's in the RV. But one thing that I will say is, like, we did a conversation about left and right and how, let's have conversations. When you look at the people he is talking to in it, these right-wing fucking American bogans, like, you'd just be like, part of me was just like going, oh, burn the whole place down.
Yeah,
because honestly, conversations are dumb. Or maybe if I was there, I'd be like, here, Ruben over in Ireland, shut up with your conversation bullshit. Can you hear these fucking idiots?
Yeah.
They aren't interested. Like, it's...
Look, again, I know we don't want to linger. Don't want to linger too long. Sorry, you go on, bro. I was going to say, I know you don't want to linger too long on it, but I was watching that John Adams, right?
Who's John Adams?
So he was the second American president, I think, right? And there's a mini series on Now TV, John Adams. Really good. Paul Giamatti's deadly in it. And I'm only a couple episodes.
Paul Giamatti again?
He's from Billions. He's from
then straight out of Compton. He's the
Howard
who looks
Stern.
nothing
Pig
like
vomit.
the guy. Yeah.
Pig Vomit from the Howard Stern show.
Man, that is really.
What a great... That's the first thing I ever seen him in.
and he's good. He's in Sideways.
He's in Sideways. He's
That's
so
how he
funny.
kind of became, like a bit.
Oh my
but
God,
he's in.
Sideways is fucking deadly.
He's crazy. He does a particular brand of kind of angry that's so good. But
fucking Howard Stern is a fucking...
It's so funny watching it's the story of he was a lawyer in Boston during the massacre, right? Where 5 people got killed in a riot. All right, now that's obviously horrible. I'm just saying.
Sorry, what riots are we talking about?
The Boston massacre.
Oh no!
So this is a riot. They started throwing because he actually gets the soldiers off. They were. He gets legally in court.
Come on, do you like that?
You like that? Shoot those people. But no, there was a riot. There were stuff being thrown, and they shot 5 people in the crowd. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
But that's it, man. Okay. Besides that, the only grievances that the colonial Americans had was that they were being taxed too much. And you're sitting there going, oh, word, brother, the British were taxing you too much. That's why you had a revolution. We had 800 years of getting pitch capped. You ever hear about that fucking shit?
No.
They used to fill a hat full of pitch and stick it to your head and then tie that to a horse and get it to run out of town until your skull popped open and your brain fell out. You know what I mean? They used to round up people in a church in Drogheda, Cromwell, and set it on fire. They used to round up people in Cork. They used to slaughter all the men and then send the women and children down to the Caribbean to work on plantations. Oh, but they were charging you too much for the tea.
Well, hold on a minute.
Really, America? So America wasn't began as this kind of against tyranny. It was began because a bunch of white cunts were over sitting on free land that they'd stolen from the Indians and going, actually, we'd be better off if we just went into business for ourselves here. And do you know what I mean?
I'm totally lost.
That's
At what point did Paul Giamatti come along?
That's what I'm saying. He's John
Adams. When
Adams.
he did the Boston Massacre, Paul Giamatti was the lawyer at the Boston Massacre. I thought we were talking about the 80s here, that fucking colonial revolution.
Sorry. I didn't make that clear.
Just like, I know what you're talking about.
No, he was the second president. This is back in like the 70s.
Right, yes,
so it was the 80s, actually. It was the 70s. Get with the program here. Anyway, yes.
And so he was in Straight Outta Compton, is that what you're telling me?
Yeah. So then he became an entertainment lawyer afterwards. Yeah. But no, so anyway, just at the origins of America, it's almost like somebody put it in a really good way, and I can't remember who it was, but it's like it was America. It was a heist. You know what I mean? I think it's Chappelle who talks about the heist or whatever. Like it's like there is no point. They have this fantasy idea about this, but I mean, fucking, like, as so many people have said it, Thomas Jefferson wrote, "All men, we hold this truth to be self-evident, that all men and women are created equal, or all men, are created equal," and then went home and told his slaves, "Get that fucking
tobacco. Fill my bowl, bitch."
Yeah. In every, you know what I mean?
I know. Yeah.
I mean, George Washington was elected by, I think there were like, that's another good documentary on Netflix, actually, that one about the voting rights or voter suppression. Like there was literally, I think, 1,700 people were eligible to vote when George Washington was elected or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Crazy tiny number of.
That seems very small.
It was like it was just all white men over the age of 35 who owned land or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
That's the way you want to set up a system. When you're next time you're doing a republic, that's how you want it.
Keep it to people named
Reuben.
Reuben. Yeah.
Anyway, let's get out of our tangents here for a minute and get to the root of today's podcast. So I think the title of today's podcast will be like #Free Britney.
Free Britney, pretty much.
Free Britney.
Yeah.
So you're looking at two men.
Free Britney, bitch.
Free Britney, bitch. Who just watched the Britney Spears documentary. It's called Framing Britney Spears.
It's on Now TV, I think. Now you can watch it.
Oh right, okay. So we got a pirated version, did we?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, but it literally just came out on Now like last night or something. I saw up there.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, isn't
Perfect
that crazy?
timing.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Now TV will not give me another free trial, so that's out anyway for me.
Yeah,
but
he keeps calling. Come on, baby.
I mean, I thought it was a really good documentary. What did you think of it, Len? Just like, even let's just say from a documentary standpoint, I actually thought it was pretty well made. Like, I hate watching a documentary that looks like National Geographic have made it. You know, it's got all those funny crap cut away, like almost computer graphic-y. This just looked like organic
reconstruction.
Yeah, any of that shit I'm out. This just looks like nice organic documentary, well made, good interviews. Really interesting,
dude. Yeah, and it could have been done so badly as well. Like given that they're interviewing people who are you know, like a lot of the people that are being interviewed were just ordinary people who just kind of joined this movement. It's like a hashtag movement.
Hashtag movement.
You know what I mean?
For anyone who doesn't know, the Free Britney movie. So apparently, apparently Britney Spears. Sorry, you're saying what? Britney Spears is in what they call a conservatorship. Yeah. And from what I understand, conservatorship is sort of like someone gets power of attorney over your body and your estate. And so her conservator... just a quick one then.
Chooses who gets to visit her. Like, that's fucking crazy.
I actually wrote down some of the conservatorship stuff here because it is fucking crazy.
Now, they don't own her money. They can't spend her money.
Yeah,
but they manage it. They decide how it's spent, but it's not. They don't get to.
Who you can see, visit. your medical records. They can sell your house. They can make recording performance deals. Cancel your credit cards. She's not allowed to have a mobile phone. And so, I mean, let's just have a quick talk about then the conservatorship in itself. What happened was, from what I understand, then Britney Spears came to. We started to know about Britney Spears around 1998. She had a huge hit single called "Hit Me Baby One More Time," which everyone on planet Earth knows.
100%. Yeah.
At the time, so we're talking 1998. I was the exact same age probably as Britney Spears. I was 16 years of age. But looking back now, she seemed way older.
Yeah.
And like, she was jerk off paradise. She was stunning. You know what I mean? But when you look back on it now, it's just so obvious that they're sexualizing a 16-year-old to make money.
Yeah.
And so what I thought was interesting about that part of it is that, because we should say that the conservator, the person in charge of Britney Spears' conservatorship, or one of them, and we'll have to, at the end of it, maybe do a couple of Google things, see if that's still the case, because it's ongoing. But basically, Jamie Spears, who is Britney Spears' father, is the conservator in charge of the conservatorship. Now, this guy, he seems like a fucking sort of serial loser, career lowlife sort of dude. He had construction business, he had a gym business, he had...
He's a freeloader.
He was
He's
a cook.
Yeah.
He went bankrupt and alcoholic.
Imagine that. Imagine being a cook, man.
I know,
Jesus
dickheads,
Christ.
dude. But it's more... Oh,
Yeah, right,
exactly.
yeah.
That's a great comparison. He's got a bit of a Mitch Winehouse effort going on. And what's interesting is that I just would have assumed that he, in cahoots with some sort of record label, would be pushing that sexualised agenda. But as it turns out, I think at that part of the career, of Britney's career, it was her mum who was really pushing the career, shall we say, and
Well, they make a really good point in that, because you want to stress that they were definitely making money selling this sexualized image of her, but she was, she had a huge amount of agency in it as well. Like, they make a really good point that, young girls in particular, like a lot of young gay men at the time, and man, just people in general went crazy for her and were obsessed with her and idolized her, not because she was, the sexuality was partly about it, but she owned her space or whatever. That was the thing. She had this
control of her own space. He started going,
yeah,
it's not the sexiness that makes her cool to these young people who are looking for someone to sort of be their hero to a degree, but it's her confidence, the control of her own space that's cool and attractive to, like you said, young girls. And there's a lot of homosexual men, so that Britney gave them the voice or the power or the confidence to be that. Like a guy thinks
to be the outside, to feel like it was okay.
One of the guys who's talking is from some sort of bogan town. He was just like, I was all right to be the little gay boy or whatever. That's the confidence. But so obviously, in and around 2008, she has a meltdown, and that's when the conservatorship takes effect. And even at that, because here's the thing, Jamie Spears apparently was not really around
at all,
at all, and so then, for me, it's just like, what a scumbag, what a lowlife. Here's an opportunity. So he sees his daughter in trouble or peril, and rather than, and as a parent, I can tell you, if I would just want to fix it for Louis or for my child. And I don't mean wade in there and fucking fix it. I mean, let's sort this out. Let's really fix this. And here's a guy who, it looks like, sees an opportunity to take control and power over his daughter's wealth and person, and seizes that opportunity. Like, he goes and applies for that conservatorship with a lawyer, and I'm just like, oh, listen, mate, you don't have to do that. Like, that's just, for me, it's just like the onus is not on caring, the onus is taking control.
They almost brought him in, it looks like, in those early footage when she is still quite young, in like maybe around 2000. They brought him in to kind of stand beside the mom, because that was part of the narrative Britney was selling, was this kind of, she's from a good old wholesome Christian family South,
we pray a lot. We did a lot of praying around that time. We just didn't know what else to do. We did a lot of praying.
Yeah.
So I suppose let's have a quick chat about what leads up to the conservatorship. Around 1998, she's massive. In around 2005, she meets Kevin Federline. That seems to go downhill pretty quickly. And then, she's dealing with a whole lot of shit. And I suppose would we be better off actually maybe talking about the paparazzi first? Well, let's just say, we'll get into that.
Forged by them.
What?
Just taken apart by them.
It's awful.
In a way, man, they were that. Okay, so yeah, so basically, what you're saying, from kind of 2000 and
Five.
really from, I mean, kind of from the beginnings, right from the off, really,
Yeah.
really from like about 2000 until 2008. They were grinding her down. They were working.
Oh,
on
fucking
her,
right.
you know
But
what
you
I
see,
mean?
the thing about it is, like, everyone was grinding her down. Like, even there, she's just had a baby. She straight away gets pregnant again. And then within 3 weeks of having the second baby, files for divorce against Kevin Federline. And somehow, and she goes for custody. And then he goes for custody. And I was just like, who the fuck is Kevin Federline? He's a fucking drug addict, like, fucking backing dancer who, again, saw an opportunity to marry Britney Spears. Of course he did.
Hey, whoa, man,
And, like,
Popo's out. Come on, you know that shit still slaps.
but there's a bit where he's just like going. There's a bit where, like, you're just there going. I was just there going. The only reason Kevin Federline went for custody, it's not because he's concerned about his child's well-being and the state of Britney Spears. He wants more money.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, and it's like so obvious. And then at that, no one sort of stepped in. Okay, because I tell you, right, there's a really interesting point made quite early on in the documentary by a woman who does the Britney Spears Instagram podcast, and she says that this would never happen to a man in America.
Yeah.
And that is 100% correct, and a really interesting statement, because, like, on the outside looking in, it's sort of like the usual narrative. We've seen that story a whole load of times. I mean, set aside eccentric millionaires, like the Woody Allens even that we're just talking about there, or like Michael Jackson. And it's just like, those situations were way more extreme than wherever she was in 2008.
Yeah.
And yet we just said, like, and funnily enough, right, so let's just look at that dynamic for a minute. She gets with Justin Timberlake. Obviously, and then it says they break up because he quite quickly jumps on the narrative that she cheated on him. And then the whole world turns into this sort of school slut versus the jock. And it is like that. It's like that Friday Night Lights vibe. It's like, this guy's untouchable, no matter... And, like, even the bit where he's on going, yeah, I fucked her, or whatever he said.
Just got one question. Just yes or no. Did you fuck Britney Spears? Come on, man. Just yes or no, man. Yeah,
I did it.
Dude, to be honest, it makes you. There's loads of clips of things from the back in the 90s, like magazine covers and all, and interviews, and you just think, Jesus, I grew up in that era, and it looks like the worst, the sleaziest,
creeps.
craziest time.
What about, like, the bit when she's in an interview at 10 years of age? It's 1992 or something like this, and she's on an interview. She's just sang a song on some localized television or whatever, and some fucking Lizard King pedo is just there going, "You've got the most beautiful eyes I've ever seen."
Do you have a boyfriend? Why not?
And boys are mean.
Could I be your boyfriend?
Mate, jail.
Yeah.
Let's go live with this lad's hard drive.
What? No.
What the fuck, man?
What did I say? What did I
I
do?
know that at one point that guy, and he must be Dutch or German or something, but everyone is obsessed with your breasts or whatever. You know that bit?
It's the worst. For some reason, it's worse that he goes, you always get so angry
know.
when people ask you that. And I'm just asking
Men
about
are
your
such
titties.
dickheads,
And
aren't
it's
they?
like,
Reminds you about Dogville. Have you ever seen that?
No.
yeah,
Just take
totally.
and take from this innocent kind of...
Dogville, Rob saying, in case anyone can't hear it.
woman and- yeah, you
Lars von Trier or whatever, isn't it? And I tell you, it's a hard watch. It's a very hard watch. It's just in like a warehouse with chalk drawn on the floor, and Nicole Kidman, Paul Bettany, amazing cast. But if you're struggling watching it, just wait till the end. It has, I promise you, the best ending, the most satisfying ending of any film.
Explain what happens to her.
Oh yeah, so she comes in there. She's on the run, so she's kind of reliant on the kindness of strangers, as Blanche Dubois would say, and everyone's like really lovely to her to begin with. But then slowly, as people start to realize that they can take advantage of her, they do, and it's basically how society. And this we'll talk about this a bit more as well, which they mentioned in the documentary. It's what they call the Madonna whore complex, where a woman is expected to be kind of there's two images of a woman that society can kind of fit in their narrative, which is they either want to see her as the saint, as like, you know, the virginal, pure, kind of, you know, innocent, fucking Heidi. Snow White enchanting all the animals, or the fucking the whore, like the red leather.
Taxi driver as well.
Yeah, right.
That's where it's used in.
Okay,
The Lolita thing and
but
the
it's funny,
seductress,
there's
the
all
succubus,
that, but
all
that's
this
across the
stuff.
board in that
The
documentary.
vamp, and they say vamp in that documentary.
Yeah,
as well,
but he says vamp, underwear clad vamp or whatever.
Who's just to be clear, is a woman who uses her. It's like the femme fatale thing. It's like a woman who uses her sexuality to conquer men or to.
But
get
it's
what she
funny
wants.
that that's that conversation, and even all these like the American version of Loose Women or whatever that program, and I fucking hate those shows like with middle-aged, middle-class bints sitting around talking shit from their distorted perspective, exactly with the pearls and all that. We're just good Christian women with good Christian ideals.
Well, I think she should just go and wash her mouth out with a soap bar. Woo! Oh, you're so spicy, Clarissa. Yeah.
So, and I mean, you see, there's loads of it that keep showing you clips of like women dogging the fuck out of Britney Spears, and like.
Who was that wife of a governor who said,
it's
I
like
want
to
to shoot
her in the head or something. But there's that Lolita thing as well. 'Cause she does a Rolling Stones cover and she's like, and they even say it's so Lolita or something. But it's funny, just because you said at the time when you look back on the time, there's a bit, they talk about the Monica Lewinsky thing. And like, I'm pretty sure now, all these years later, we know Bill Clinton's the fucking rotten creep. Pedophile probably. He's been to Mar-a-Lago, he's been on that jet however many times.
70 times.
But at the time, just
Jeffrey
because,
Epstein,
as an almost defense mechanism, where it's like, that's our prison, they launch into, and Jay Leno's on, see the bit with Jay Leno talking about Monica Lewinsky, and he actually said, because I was surprised that he said it, man.
They show one clip, like I think he
They show
still
one clip.
makes jokes about Monica Lewinsky.
But he actually says, what does he say?
He's like, Monica Lewinsky, skirt.
What do you want, the whore? What do you want, the cheap slutty bird? Everyone picks the Monica.
That's right,
that's
right. Do you want the girl you can take home to mom, or do you want the
girl to do anything you want? Everyone says the Monica. And so that's the sort of attitude, and then you get all these women, like, and they're always in Christian ideals. I mean, they're going, they can't cope with the fact that she's saying she's a virgin, she wants to wait for sex, and that she's sexy.
Yeah.
And they're just like, those things don't. And she makes the point, she's going, I'm a woman, I'm a girl, of course I want to feel sexy.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't I? And funny, it made me think of the Traveller thing. Yeah. Where the women get dressed up to the nines in the fucking most risky gear ever. But them bitches aren't having sex with no one.
Tease.
You know what I mean? And so it's just like, it doesn't mean that. But then, so that's one point for it to be like, a girl can try and be sexy without saying, I need you to fuck me, I want a dick.
It was also the fact that that's society. It was like society's almost, you could almost personify it as this lecherous, fat, 50-year-old man coming home from work who wants his daughter to be pure and virginal, but also fantasizes about banging her. Do you know what I mean? Oh. They wanted her to be, but that's the thing you get off the documentary. Of course,
but it'd be like, if I was Jamie Spears, I'm Britney Spears, that my 16-year-old daughter is riding around in a fucking schoolgirl uniform. That's the point I go, no, this isn't happening, you know what I mean? But they don't, they just like, of course I'll sexualize my child for money. Well, I'll do whatever the fuck this
to be honest, dude, I think, again, I would argue that her agency in all of that it was almost like she was tempting, which she really has every right to express herself in the way they did, but it's, the dog
I'm not saying she shouldn't, but I'm also saying at some point I would have, like, the voice of reason, the matriarch or the patriarch, the mother, father should be like, are we doing this? This is where we're going?
But why? Because
jerk off material?
Do you know what I'm saying though? This is the thing, man. It's there's almost a metaphor there for her going off out on her career, and you're sitting on the couch going, hey, what are you going out dressed like that for, or whatever? Take some of that makeup off, young lady.
Wants to do. She doesn't want to be a sex object. She just wants to sing and dance.
No, she doesn't want to be a sex object, but she shouldn't have to be. It's society that made her a sex object. She should be able to go out there and wear whatever the fuck she wants and dance whatever the fuck way she wants. And this is the thing. So this is all I say. It's like the dad going, hey, you don't go out there dressed like that, because there's fucking creeps down the end of the road who are going to try to rape you. It's like, they're the problem, not the way she's dressed. You know what I mean? Which I know you know, but
you don't have I don't have control over the anonymous
society.
rapists out there.
Yeah, and society in general.
I'm not saying, I'm not trying, but it's not about that. It's more that I'm just saying, like, at what stage do you just go, moralistically, be like, I don't want to make money off this.
Yeah. No,
like, come on. You want to be a singer? Let's sing. You want to be a dancer? And because here's the thing: when I watch the Britney Spears documentaries, she's fucking amazing.
Oh,
she's
jeez,
amazing.
man! Yeah, you see her even performing at those mall shows. She just had that star power. Do you know what I mean?
There was a real pageantry about that part of it, though, wasn't it? It reminded me of and her mom being the crazy Christian driving force. It reminded me of the Little Miss pageants,
Little Miss Sunshine,
pedophile fucking wet dreams.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
At the end, a little.
Yeah. There's an element of that to it, but the mall thing. And she was amazing. She was beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, right, even when she's in her 20s, they keep showing photos of her with no makeup on and all. And she looks fucking amazing.
But I remember being as a kid, and I was like 6 years old, I think, when Hit Me Baby One More Time came out. And
you must have been older than that, no?
Well, 1998. Yeah, I would have been 6. But as far as I remember,
you the same?
Within a week of each other.
Yeah. That's
touching bums in the hospital.
Yeah, that's what they did in 1992. But
especially if you were Jamie Spears.
Yeah. What did I do with that soda? Where'd you got it? But
in my pants.
But lost. Oh yeah, but I remember growing up. I was naturally disinclined towards the kind of pop music or manufactured pop. I grew up thinking she was this totally manufactured thing, that there was somebody, her manager, just going, there's this song, go out there and shake your tushy. And you watch this, funny, and you watch this doc, I said tushy. Can't believe I said,
didn't even watch it back and have a chuckle.
I didn't even, yeah.
Oh my God, that was a good one.
I can't believe I said tushy. But I probably stole that one as well. But no, you watch the documentary and she's completely, she defined who the fuck she was. And actually the one thing you mentioned earlier, the Rolling Stone cover, and they're all like, especially after that. And she really kind of stoked the fires there with that one, because you look at it and it is so Lolita. Like, she's dressed, she's kind of in, like a short sort of dress, and she's holding like a Teletubby
something weird
thing. But I don't see someone who's just trying to be like, oh, will this help me sell records or be good for my image because society has deep-seated fucking issues. I see her like a young performer who's like kind of playfully or ironically kind of
do you think she questioned it, though?
Toying with the I think she did,
actually
man.
had an inner monologue, or she was just like, okay, because she just wanted, and not because she was thick or whatever, because she wanted to please the situation. She wanted to go as far as she could, wanted to please her mother, who had put all of this time, effort, money into the thing, wanted to please her father, who spent all this money.
I think it is still tied up in her expressing who she is, but there's something there as well about being a woman, and that about being how you're raised as a woman to want to please.
Okay, yeah.
To feel like, you have to fulfill these images to society.
Yeah,
you're supposed to be the pure, virginal, wholesome mother figure, and also the, mother figure later down the line, and also the, you're also supposed to be the dirty little girl for your husband and do whatever the fuck he wants, and all that kind of thing as well. And that society, it's like the lingam and the yoni thing, the space, the vessel, and the force, or whatever, as it would be in Buddhist or whatever metaphysics. That's what society, like you were saying about Justin Timberlake and all that, that's how it views a male celebrity, is like, well, he's allowed to just go around and slap his dick wherever the fuck he wants, and society is like the receiving force for that.
The weird dynamic of that is that you expect that almost from men, because we're morons. But then you see a load of women going, yeah, what a slut almost, and you're like, going
again, because man, it's so insidious. This is the social thing. Like, when you look at what the paparazzi did, and they did a different thing, but they arguably also killed Princess Diana or whatever. They definitely drove her fucking life insane.
But at the crux of all that is just the money.
Yeah, this is exactly.
These are just normal dudes like me and you go, I'm going to fucking pick up a camera and take photos of Britney Spears.
But this is the thing. They're
scumbags.
why were they able to? They are, but why were they able to? Why was there so much money in that industry? Because people. But they're not.
That's really good, because at one point he's like going, we were making good money selling photos. When you got those unposed photos, through the fucking roof, and there's like an intrinsic malevolence in society that, there's something that's like, I want to see that beautiful person not be beautiful.
Yeah, I want to see them destroyed.
Destroyed.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. It's like the society, the impression you get of
picture where she looks great and she's happy and all. Fuck off. Show me the bit where
they want that. They want to see the glory.
And then the fall.
Maybe it's because ordinary people want to kind of be pushing their shopping trolley or working in the car dealership or whatever and thinking to themselves, God, I could have been somebody if I'd really applied myself. And maybe a little bit they want to go, oh yeah, but eventually it never works out in the end. Never works out in the end. Maybe there's a little bit of that as well. Like I was saying about, like if we watch The Last Dance. Now I don't want to get too sidetracked in this because you could talk about. Have you watched that, The Last Dance?
It's amazing.
And Michael Jordan and how the media. I'm saying in not anywhere near the same scale. But he was on a pedestal. He was literally like this fucking demigod. And they would do anything to try to... Because it's like the next part of that story, the next act in that fucking play is the fall, right?
Do you think... I don't think... I would have to disagree with you there. I would have assumed that they're being way more forgiving or lenient. Like when he comes out and says, I'm not going to be that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be what you want me to be. Like, there's a bit where they expect him to speak out about, no, I think a black social issue. There's some black social
Oh, yes.
issues.
No. There's a guy who wants to get elected North Carolina. Where the fuck is he from in North Carolina? But anyway, there was a guy who was going for election.
And he doesn't throw his 2 cents in.
Because he said Republicans buy sneakers too. Isn't that what he said? Yeah.
And no one they didn't fucking crucify him over that.
No, man, do you know what? And I don't want to give it any impression that it's the same thing, but I'm saying even with Michael Jordan, gambling stuff. Let's say the gambling thing.
When his father died, they had said he was involved in a gambling debt.
It was some gambling that they were desperate to try to fucking torpedo him or whatever. And that was strange actually. They didn't. I kind of thought they didn't go into.
Maybe it was a gambling debt.
No, not that. But just whatever way they handled it. But that they couldn't get Jordan on anything. But they desperately tried to get him, because we can talk about that another time. That's the male narrative they try to spin, is that the man goes out and does things but is flawed, and that's what ultimately destroys him. Whereas with Spears, she didn't do fucking anything.
Nothing.
They just destroyed her. Because...
And they were doing it from day one. Like, cause that's my point. It's like, the Justin Timberlake stuff happens in 2000, right? And they fucking lamp her out of it. First of all, she's a virgin, but she dresses like that, lamped out of it. The Justin Timberlake thing, lamped out of it. Yeah. And then, let's get in then to the paparazzi thing, because they have that paparazzi guy interviewed in, I can't remember his name. He's obviously a sociopath, that lad, or some...
Do you know, man, it's funny.
He's even still he's doing a Carlos Mencia on it. He's telling you. No, she loved it. She didn't want, because even there's a bit where it's just like, why didn't you just leave her? Because Michael Moore, in one part of it, he's like
the only guy.
And I don't like Michael Moore, but I was just like, you can depend on Michael Moore, can't you?
They didn't even ask him. Larry King's just moving on, and he goes,
"Why don't we just leave her alone? Can't we just
let her live her life or whatever?"
Yeah, man, and it was really well done. 100%. But then the paparazzi, and because then.
Don't come after Carlos Mencia, by the way, man. He's my joke stealing homeboy.
Well, we won't get into it, but when he was on Tiger Belly, it was ridiculous.
Man,
have you not seen it? No. He's on it. He does a full. Oh man, we're not even talking about it. Go and watch it.
Cool. Maybe we'll talk about that next week. But sorry, just the one thing while you remind me of the paparazzo thing. Is that because I had only ever seen London or British tabloid guys, right?
But they were all those guys. A lot of the lads in the US were Brits.
Yeah,
a lot of the paparazzi.
Actually, you hear a lot of European accents.
Loads of European accents, and they're all doing. They're not selling. They're only selling some pictures in the US. They're selling most of them in Europe.
This is the thing, right? Because whatever the appetites are for it, and I suppose especially actually now that you mention it, Europeans probably love to see American stars go down as well. Amanda Knox, yes.
turned all the press against
He
her,
was an Italian guy, was he?
making up that she was in some sex cult. No, he's an English.
Oh, he was the English guy, right?
right.
Yeah.
And
That's
nearly
yeah.
got her in prison and all.
And but see, this is the thing.
Did
This
you never hear that?
I remember
No.
you telling me about this. This guy Piaz was his name, right?
Yeah,
British
scumbag.
tabloid journalist.
Yeah.
But he's sitting there in the interview going, "Yeah, I thought of that headline, or I made that thing up," and they all ate it up, right? Right.
Yeah.
And you see this with a lot of the British tabloid guys. The impression I always got was they're the scum of the earth, in my opinion. They destroy people's lives and they enjoy doing it. They make a book and they go home with their fucking copy of Nuts magazine and
Jerk off.
eat a pot noodle.
Nuts was great.
But they yeah.
Nuts gave us that ceiling.
That's not stuck to the wall with glue, man. But they knew they
together
were
with nuts.
scumbags. This is the thing. They'll sit there and camera and go, "Yeah, I'm a cunt. Yeah, I'm the scum of the earth. But what are you gonna do?" And I'm not saying I don't even say that's respectable, but that's my impression. Whereas these guys,
your
fucking
man's a sociopath.
there's this double think. They're going up to the car with cameras, going, "Hey, Brittany, are you okay?
Yeah,
I want to talk to you.
I'm concerned about you.
I'm concerned. I just
there's
I'm
a
just
bit
gonna
where
ask you a
she's-
couple of questions and then I'm gonna go because I'm your friend. Like fuck
Fuck
off, man.
mate. And so just quickly, right, like that, he says at one point, it's like, she loved it. When we started, she knew we were feeding her. And it's just like, no, mate, she's like Britney Spears. She does not need you.
How rapey does even that? No, she wanted it though. She
Yeah,
loved
yeah,
it.
That's exactly.
She wanted
but
it.
There's something a bit rapey about that whole.
whole
it's so
thing.
violating. And so...
She's in a corner store and they're all like, dude, get out of her way, get out of her.
Yeah.
It's like there would be no one.
What about
there would
there's one where the two lads start boxing the head off each other?
Yeah, what happened there, man?
They just start killing, and you're just like, "Oh, lads, come on!"
Stop
and
it,
then
stop
there's
it,
always a couple of them who are like, "No, you know, trying to be the hero of the situation." Going, "Hey, baby, come on, I got you." And it's like,
White savior thing.
Yeah, but it's just the male. Hey, bro, she said no. But it's really. But anyway, babe, what are you doing now? You know what I mean?
and like another thing.
What an asshole.
There's a
Anyway,
bit where she's walking out with her when she has her first baby. She's walking out like that, and it's just like they're right there, and that's where I'm starting to go, lads. That's not cool.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't think that's cool. But there's a bit like the bit obviously. Because what's really interesting is, like, the paparazzi are dogging her and everything. No way can she... Like, when she gets her kid in the front seat of the car?
Oh, yeah.
That was stupid now.
Yeah,
'Cause I've
but-
done that,
Yeah.
but I've done it on the lane. When I lived in Ashford with Louis, I used to do it when we were coming up the thoroughfare to our house. We lived in in Question State, and I'd say, "Here, sit on me lap there." And I would drive up the driveway. I'm not going to drive down fucking N11 with the chap. You know what I mean?
No, but I mean, who knows where she was? But
I
imagine
know,
you
and
did that.
again,
Imagine
it
you
doesn't
did that
mean-
one time.
I know,
You did
I'm
that
not
one
trying to
time,
validate
and the
then
next
say-
thing you can't walk down Bray Main Street
Oh, no,
without.
look, I
you know
get
what
that.
I mean?
And again, we seen Michael Jackson hang his kids off a balcony. You know what I mean? And we didn't wade in there and go, "Here, give us your money." But the thing about the pap, like, there's a... So obviously this is going on for years, a couple of years. She's having... because here's the thing, she's only having the same sort of episodes or breakdowns that normal everyday people have on every minute, But she's also it looks exactly the same as so many celebrity, like, when you're a celebrity and you go off the rails, that's how they do it. They go to the clubs, they do the drinking, and like it's just so... It's so focused on, I suppose, but it's no more extreme than any other situation. It's being made more extreme. It's being fed
to live out
by
loud,
its
basically.
own. But like, there's a bit where she's in a toilet of a 7-Eleven or something, and she's like literally comes out of the toilet door, and there's about 100 lads there, 100 men, big fucking men, and she's had a few drinks or whatever it is, and there's just a load of
I
instances.
even remember there's
of that.
one, and I actually remember this. I don't know if it's even in the documentary, but maybe they flashed it at one point. But I remember, just like she was getting out of a car at one point,
That's
and there
how
was
in-
like an up the skirt
Yeah,
kind
but
of thing.
that wasn't in the documentary though.
I don't.
They brushed over it. They obviously didn't want to.
They
I
might
don't
it might have
remember
just
it.
come up at one point as a
it's
kind
not.
of
You
a.
don't remember that happening though?
Not really. Yeah, sort of.
You don't remember that happening in any way?
Yeah, I think so.
It was such a huge. It's just so funny that they
She
were
was
like,
sort of a bit of a dodgy looking fan, did she?
look at her. How could she?
I don't remember
Yeah, I don't remember those
Beef
details.
curtains.
That's what Ruben's reaching for in his brain. Vagina. Which vagina?
Five
Was it the sort of let me see. Which
Yes.
upskirt shot are we talking about here?
2002.
Yeah.
Just trying to remember when I
Yeah.
saw Jordan's
Bruce
vagina
Almighty.
on the Trex.
Yeah.
But like
No, that happened.
But just the fact that it's all like, look, what I don't even know what they're accusing her of being. What an idiot or what a slut. She got out of a car and allowed someone to take an upskirt shot of her. It's like, really? What about the person who
took
took
the
that
upskirt?
photo? Aren't they the person at fucking fault here? Like there are
But you see,
photographs.
I mean,
of
they
me
just
that
want
would
to take
exist.
advantage of the situation to make money. Like, they tell the story of when because she shaves her head, and a guy, I can't remember, your man is an editor or something like that for New York Times, and he said, like, it's actually fucking, when she shaved her head,
Do you know what?
it's
Sorry,
genius.
not to cut off. I'd love to know, did she ever mention Sinead O'Connor? Because
She looks, there's one picture, they show a picture of her with her shaved head, and she looks stunning.
but
She looks
In the front
stunning.
seat of the car.
oh
front seat
yeah,
of the car,
no,
man.
she was.
And like,
She
there's
was
one with no
gorgeous.
makeup and a fucking blade zero, and she looks fucking stunning.
Man, like yeah.
And but that bit, so if, for instance, that episode, like, she gets out of taxi car, anyone would do that. Any motherfucker
Oh
would
man,
do that.
with the
And
when
you
the
know
dude says like, I think it was a pretty bad night for her, and
my
then
God.
kind of
And he's
quickly
got-
adds, oh, and it was a bad night for us as well. I was like, no, it fucking was not a
then he
bad
right
night for
quickly adds,
you,
he
you
goes,
fucking
No, but we
scumbag.
got paid out.
We
so it
got
was good night.
hella paid. out
Hella
of it,
paid.
yeah.
They got money out of that
Motherfucker.
bank. But and then afterwards, after they go off, it's all like, oh my God, she destroyed my car, and it's just like a scuff mark on it. She didn't break a window or anything. She didn't do it. And it's just like, I'm going to perpetuate this situation in order to sensationalize it, make it bigger, and get a bigger payday out of it. That's your thought process, mate. That is it. Let's be real here.
But why did they? Why are they able to do that? Why are they? I mean, look, okay, they're definitely responsible, right? They're definitely the cutting edge of it, but also society
Yeah, but
accepts that narrative or will buy into that narrative.
well,
Do you
like,
know
I
what
mean, I just think that
they want to see her fall down, and for me, man, it ties into in a general way because I think the thing you mentioned earlier about that you know, like your one says, they would never treat a male star like this. Never. Like I mean,
you can, and again, there's so many instances of that throughout her career, like the Justin Timberlake, like the aftermath of their breakup or whatever, but there's just no fucking way. Like, look at all these eccentric fucking billionaire lizard pedos, and like, no one's waiting in there to tell them what they can and can't do.
no, but because there's
It's like in every other situation, money gets you whatever the fuck you want.
yeah.
But not there.
But
then we need them. Oh, sorry, and I'm sorry, but while it's on my head, what about the bit where the brother's like going,
Oh yeah.
you know, all these Spears women are really strong women. I live in a house with really strong women. They're all real strong women.
They want to
And it's
do
a
what
pet-
they want to
and your
do.
man sort
And
of
everyone goes,
yeah,
that
it's sort of
sounds constitutional.
But
Yeah.
he fucking's just like there going, do you know how fucking annoying that is?
Yeah.
And it's just like, there's your ego. Oh, no, we just figured it out. You don't want the women in control. Even though they're the talent, the breadwinner, all that stuff, you want to be the one in control. And that's the overriding thing. I just wanted to say quickly on the head shaving thing that it's actually... It was genius because it was like, what do you want from me? What do you think I'm pretty? You think I'm beautiful? Boom, I shave my hair. Or whatever. Whatever you want, it's now gone.
Yeah.
Whatever that image is,
Yeah.
it's gone. So extremely so. And the fellows...
But it's exactly what Sinead O'Connor did fucking 20 years earlier when she went over to London and they were like, oh, look at you, love, you beautiful little Irish Colleen. Oh, we're going to love you. And she was like, all right, fuck that then.
Fuck
and
yous.
shaved her head completely.
And she looked even better.
And she terrified everybody. They didn't know what to make of her, you know. But anyway, I just wonder if if Spears made a reference to her or whatever, or something like that. I
Yeah,
don't know.
okay. But
I'd
I
love
mean,
to
I
know.
just... Your man says something, he's like, how come everyone just looked at that and said she was crazy? How come that's all anyone could see was crazy?
Because that's what they sell, man. Think about it. Like
Yeah.
they
But
sell.
when I was that age, I remember I would have been... So what are we talking, 2008, 12 years ago, I'd be 24. I remember thinking, geez, bitch gone crazy.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
of course, man. Yeah, sure. Why would you think any? Why would you think
I
any
never would have
different?
entertained for a second that that's a really good idea to throw down vultures off your scent.
Yeah.
Is to change yourself, like, or just to be like that. This is what that blonde princess picture's gone. This is what I got.
I'm not reading off the script anymore.
reading off
We're
the script
going
anymore.
improv. She was flying in the face of defying that narrative that she began in her career, and you see she's so bright-eyed, and I mean
yeah,
she still is, whatever, but she's so bright-eyed
She's
and
on
fucking
medication these days,
and
though.
she kind of, yeah, you can see
heavily
this.
medicated.
She's I mean she's like still she's still fighting so hard, but yeah, there's definitely, yeah, look, she's been
You can tell. I can just tell.
They've
I know
beaten
when
her down so hard,
people
you know.
Okay, so now there's another thing, right? Because at the very start of the documentary, they keep slipping in snippets of interviews in which Britney is saying how having control of her own destiny, having control over her own deals, etc., is so important. And then it seems like 20 years later, the exact opposite, the antithesis of what she had talked about is happening. And then I think her situation is terrifying because I could almost see it happening to myself. If I got rose to stardom, I would go off the fucking rails.
But see, this is
like
the
when
thing.
this podcast becomes number one in the country, I'm gonna Britney Spears
Come on,
ain't gonna
baby.
have shit on me.
When I get an even lower cut
I'm gonna
fucking
shave his chest.
But see, the narrative does sell, and this goes right back.
But do you think they've crushed her? Like, do you think if your dad told you a whole lot of times, you're incompetent, you can't make that decision, no, I'll look after, you'd probably start to buy into it.
Yeah, but see, this is the thing, and again, I don't want to keep drawing it back, but it's just the male-female split. They don't tell men that you're incapable, because as a man, you're entitled to your own life and your own destiny. They tell you that you're bad. They might tell you that you're evil, but that's like, it goes back to the playground, right?
Okay, yeah.
So when you do something bad as a boy in the playground, you get a slap on the hand and they tell you, bad boy. That's like a dog. But anyway, it's like, that was bold. That was bold and that was bad, and you don't like that. You don't like being punished. So you develop this split consciousness, right, between good Reuben, who's always does what his mum tells him and goes to bed on time and does his homework, and bad Reuben, who is a bit fucking rock and roll and, smokes a joint behind the bike sheds and cuts class and fingers Stacey Appleby, you know what I mean? And the thing,
She was a good
she was a good thing. That's bad Reuben. So we developed this split consciousness where it's like good me or bad me, which you take through for the rest of your life. And like, yeah, being bad, it can feel bad, but it's not all that bad. Whereas for little girls, right, they get told if they do something, if they have a bit of a blowout, if they have, express usually a bit of anger or something like that, they'll get taken aside and they'll be told, hey, now if you don't play nice, no one's going to want to play with you anymore. People are going to think that's not ladylike behavior. People are going to think you're weird. Not that you're evil, but that you're weird or essentially crazy. That's what it develops into.
Yeah, stigmatize them.
You get the crazy, the crazy girlfriend or the psycho ex-girlfriend thing. And imagine developing that split in your consciousness between good me, who does everything I'm told, and insane me, who doesn't even know what the fuck is going on. Yeah. How even more terrifying a split that is, and it's used as a much better system of control. I can deal with sometimes feeling like, yeah, I'm a fucking asshole, so what?
I can deal with that as well.
But imagine feeling like, yeah, I'm insane, I don't know my shit from my oatmeal. Do you know what I mean?
That's
terrifying.
It'd be terrifying, and I could see it, like, because I'm a bit of a fucking whack job. We're all a bit of a whack job, and she's obviously a little bit of a whack job as well. And I don't mean that, but like she's no crazier than me, but she's obviously a little bit fruity as well.
Is there a term for it?
No, a human being, probably.
What, gaslit?
Oh, well, and here's another thing. She's 100%. We spoke about gaslighting, and you were saying, no, when we use correctly, that's a real term and something we said. She is being gaslit. That's the thing. It's just keep telling her she's crazy. No, look, because there's an interview she does right in the wake
kind of the best example of it she could possibly come up with. That's going to be my go-to from here on in. What?
Yeah.
It is kind of.
It's my go-to.
Yeah.
You've been Britney, bitch.
Yeah.
You better like it.
You've been speared.
You've been tack hammered. You've been touched by my small willy.
Not my big one. I keep that in the fridge. Anyway.
But so like I forgot what I was going to say there.
Sorry,
oh,
bro,
but that doesn't matter.
The
But, like,
gaslit thing.
The gaslighting thing. But like, let's just say we discussed there that the paparazzi are doing malevolent things and manipulating the situation or their narrative to suit the making of their money or whatever. But then Jamie Spears is doing that to make money off his own daughter, and that's where it starts to get fucked up for me because this might not be it's something I kept coming back to as I'm watching the things like at the same time, do I really give a fuck about Britney Spears? Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Is her struggle and strife, is her really that perilous? You know, there's fucking kids getting bombed to death in Aleppo. You know what I mean? And I know, blah, blah, blah. So there is that part of me that's just like, oh, fuck Hollywood, fuck her, fuck them all, let them burn. I don't give a fuck. She's still knocking around a fucking mansion, you know, wants for nothing except maybe an iPhone or whatever. But that's probably rooted in that sort of, there's a societal disconnect there because it's like, there's the person, the celebrity who's winning on the pedestal, so it's all right if I don't give a fuck about them. Just like it's all right. That's the same sort of energy that makes me want to see them crash and be broken. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean,
so although I mightn't want to see Britney Spears in the shits, the same sort of part of me that on a day-to-day level doesn't really give a fuck. Not that I don't give a fuck, but I'm just like going,
I care for both.
yeah, and I do. Like I said, it actually moved me, the documentary. I thought it was really good, and it made me look at Britney Spears in a totally different light because it's like, apart from the exposure of her when she came about when I was 16, apart from that, I don't really know anything about Britney Spears. You know what I mean? I
haven't checked in or whatever. Yeah.
But at the same time, the bit that gets me is just like, whatever about me, a stranger, looking on my phone at what latest meltdown or her upskirt or whatever the thing is, you're her fucking dad, mate. Yeah. You're her fucking parent.
Yeah.
And you are taking advantage of, like, there's a bit, it just says, and the guy you see, like, fucking Perez Hilton or one of these heads going, yeah, Britney being crazy is good for my business. And it's just like, that's what was going on. And that's one thing for all these vultures, these paparazzis, these, E-News, or whoever these fucking people are. That's how they make their money. That's what they're meant to do, almost. That's the fucking trick. You're a fucking dad, mate.
Yeah.
You're a fucking dad. You're not meant to fucking join in on it. You're not meant to make it worse. Like
the Winehouse guy, he brought like a camera crew to her private island
when she's trying to... Yeah.
But yeah, it's got...
And forces her to do a show and all.
For Sky One.
Yeah.
Him, but they kind of...
That's why there's something...
It's the same thing. He's supposed to be...
I just think that's, for me, that's the lowest of the low, because it's like, it'd be one thing to be that with a fucking... That's your fucking kid, mate. Yeah. Your kid.
But like
not some nameless, anonymous fucking kid over there who's digging coltan out of the ground. That's your fucking kid.
But if to be honest, again, if it was his son, right, let's say, I'm saying that's part to do with how he's raised or whatever as well, that you without like ever consciously articulating it, you just believe well she seems to be out there on her own. There doesn't seem to be a man taking charge of things for her, and just automatically,
I mean, in
you want to slot into that position without even thinking about it. It's like, oh, of course you need someone looking after her. That's probably how they think about it.
They actually say it in 2008, just like going, oops, she did it again. There's this, and a woman says, like going, you know, ever since her dad took over, things have gone from strength to strength for Britney. And it just hammered home that Britney needs... just like, you know, the bitch works 360 fucking 5 days a year. Never
Since she was 10 years old, you know pretty much, man.
They control the messages from the camp, though, I imagine.
How do you mean?
They put that out.
No, but this is just like a woman's musing on the situation. Well, hasn't everything turned up trumps for Britney Spears since... Good old Jamie Spears, her dad took over. It's just like, this guy's making money. He's just going around making cheese and grits. Enough cheese, enough butter.
That blew my mind, man. But again,
fuck off, mate. Get some professionals in here if you're really worried about the situation. So, my baby eating cheese and grits, daddy, don't have to make the cheese and grits, take all the money. She's gonna be happy.
That's the thing. But let's say if that was his daughter or his son, right?
In the room.
You get. Ruben just pulls off his
Ghost
Mission
protocol.
Impossible, Mission Impossible mask, but he does his own stunts. But if that was his son, it's like
not
how many you
not
would go to
happening. Even
rehab.
all-
They'd make him go to
all that
rehab,
stuff.
but then it's like, well, ultimately you just got to get back up on the horse,
Yeah,
son, rather
exactly.
than you've got to be the horse, basically.
And there's a bit in it where the co-conservator, who's a lawyer, applies for a raise.
Yeah.
And it's so fucking mental because right there in black and white, the reason he's applying for the raise is because his workload has been increased because the person in the conservatorship, because this is the thing, conservatorships are usually reserved for like fucking aging billionaires or, you know what I mean, incompetent, incapacitated human fucking beings. And it's just like going, but your conservatorship is based on the fact that this person never stops fucking working.
Yeah.
And he even calls it a hybrid business model.
Oh
And
my
one of the
God,
girls
man,
just there goes straight away, just there going, that in itself is an oxymoron. Because if a person is in fine enough fettle of able-minded enough to be a business, then how the fuck can she be in conservatorship?
Conservatorship, man, yeah.
And I mean, I just think that male judges, male lawyers, her dad, this sort of stuff, you're fucked, love. You're not getting out of that. I don't know. Maybe she is getting out of it. We'll have to check towards the end. But that was one thing that I was just like...
But again, there's the social, and that's in another way, because I completely get what you're saying as well about the perspective thing, right? And there was definitely for the first 10 minutes, I mean, look, I'm a grump now anyway. I'm a real grouch. Whenever I'm watching anything for the first 20 minutes, I'm like, fucking fuck this, until it starts kind of getting to you. But yeah, I was as well, like, you're watching all of these... people in the protesters in downtown LA, and they're all just wearing their pink shirts, and they're like, Britney was such a big influence. I'm like, fucking, there's people dying in all kinds of horrible situations.
It's more
right?
that it's the system. It's
the symbol. She's
symbol.
a symbol as well as much as
sort
anything.
of thing that makes me go, oh, do you know what? And that was more like when I first started watching, I was like, oh Jesus, she was fucking great, wasn't she? Oh Jesus. But then at some point I was just like going, but it's all gross. Like, do you know, like Judy Garland, like we know, that's another thing. It's just like, don't let your kids be child stars.
Yeah, pretty much, man.
Pretty much.
Natalie Portman, I think, it worked out okay for maybe Ryan Gosling.
Did it work out all right for Natalie Portman? I guarantee you, Natalie Portman got a few dicks slapped in her face that she didn't want to when she... Like, Natalie Portman, the ultimate sexualization of a child.
Yeah, but I'm just saying she turned out okay.
Like, come on.
She turned out pretty okay.
Oh, yeah? Why?
I think
a therapist?
I'm
But like,
yeah, true. Yeah, I'm just
obviously
saying.
she's not overtly fucking in the same situation or whatever. But even at that, like, I just keep going, like, and then there was the thing about the residency. That was one thing that blew my mind. That in that residency, somehow this guy Jamie Spears has control of the estate, and her her body actually can do whatever the fuck he wants. But she did a deal, and actually that deal in the end was worth about $150 million.
Jesus.
And he got personally, for nothing.
Yeah.
He gets $1.5 million. He gets 1.5% of the $150 million. Just for nothing. It's just like, why did you get... Are you a manager? Are you any of these things? No, you're her conservator, which actually, because there's the legal jargon, conservator means protector.
Yeah.
That's the one word definition, protector.
Yeah.
And that's where my mind starts to boggle. It's just like, I'd expect this from the paparazzis. I'd expect this from the machine, the entertainment, E-News, US Weekly, whatever. I would expect that shit from them because there's so much...
Is it the money, man?
It's the money.
Is it the money?
It's the money.
Is it? And look, and this is one thing as well. Like, I'm always trying to
the
call
money.
myself out. Hey, must be the money. I stole that as well, just in case. Because
no original material.
No one has ever, like, you know what I mean. It's easy enough. It's easy to go, I would never do
like,
that. I've never done that to my kid, but. I would just put my hand up and say I've never been in a situation where someone's said where there's been a whiff of $1 million fucking euros to do anything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know how I would.
Exactly.
I don't know where I land. I don't know.
I know, but at the same time, like you look at in the Judy Garland. Like, I think they used to pump Judy Garland full of drugs when she was like 13 years of age to keep her up all day, and then pump her full of drugs to put her to sleep.
Put her to sleep, man.
And it's just like, and then, you know, as time has shown us, history has proven that 9.9 times out of 10 it ends in fucking tears. And you can say Natalie Portman, but I can say Corey Feldman, Corey Haim, Drew Barrymore.
No, man,
you know,
of
the
course.
list goes on.
Michael Jackson.
Michael
So
Jackson,
many of them.
like there's the original Macaulay
One of the worst
Culkin.
examples.
I actually seen Macaulay Culkin on Joe Rogan recently, and he was surprisingly well-rounded,
Cogent and
intelligent,
stuff. Yeah, he seems
lucid.
pretty okay. Yeah. I think he kind of sank as deep into. He let go of any attempt
He must
to
have been a
hold
full
on
drug
to
addict at
pretend.
some point.
Oh, totally, man.
Like,
I mean,
he's
he was.
heroin head, is he?
He was in. Like they said, They said he was just living in an apartment with just full of cats. He just let his cats breed.
Oh,
and,
toxic
and
fucking
he was in that
plasmosis.
Pizza Underground. You know, a band where they just did Velvet Underground songs. They're all about pizzas. And that was probably maybe that was like the best fucking therapy imaginable. He just got out all of his issues by being as crazy as bizarre as possible. Shia LaBeouf, I suppose.
So Shia LaBeouf is another one, and then but here's the thing we spoke about before, because you hear all these pedo stories and you know the Hollywood. I don't doubt for even a second that Hollywood is like fucking pedo land. Like there's forget it, man. Forget it. There's and who were we talking about recently who seems to come through that? Not even in the movie industry anymore. Elijah Wood,
Oh yeah, that's
big
right.
child star, and he has a lot to say about the pedos.
Is that why they get into the business? Not the child stars. Now.
I just really want a pedophile.
I just wanted to fuck
me.
Harvey Weinstein.
Jesus Christ.
No, not even Harvey Weinstein. Who actually?
Richard Donner.
That's the thing. They don't. Yeah, you don't. We don't. I don't know the names of most of as in the guys. You know, Corey Feldman.
Corey Feldman should have been the best. Corey Feldman should have been the best actor of our generation. 100%.
I reckon they got River Phoenix as well.
I don't think, for number one, in Stand By Me, Corey Feldman is 100 times better than River Phoenix.
Oh, yeah.
100 times better.
Yeah.
As Teddy
River
Deschamps.
Phoenix does his thing.
Does
Feldman's more watchable because he's a better character, probably.
He's a
better
better actor, man, I think.
Yeah, no,
I think there's just... I like River Phoenix, but I never got it, really, as much as I get Corey Feldman. There's a bit in the Goonies where they go into the wishing well.
Yeah.
You know that bit? And they think it's the treasure, and then it's like, no, this is the wishing well. And he's just like... There's a bit where he just picks up a coin, he's like, yeah, see that coin? That was mine. That was my dream. And I'm taking it back. I'm taking them all back. Oh my God! You're just like
the bit where the guy in the train yard or the rack yard, they're running from his dog. I know you. Your daddy's a loony. Loony.
Put your ear on a stove. I'm gonna call your dad. I'm calling all your dads except for the loony up in Peckerwood. My father stormed the beach in Normandy. You fat piece of shit.
Yeah. That is insane.
It's insane. I keep firing.
Do you know what this is? Couch. We got to be real careful when we sit down on this couch. But
even the bit where he's just like, you know, when they first go into the hideout in the Goonies, and she's like, what do you want? The old one, don't throw mama from the train, whatever her name is. What do you want? And he's like, and there's like they're all just going nothing, and he just goes, I want the Villa Scalapini.
Yeah.
I want a bottle of fettuccine, 1981. I was just like, you're a fucking rock star, Corey Feldman. I'm sorry,
but this is it. I'm thinking I've never seen Gremlins actually.
Yeah,
is he?
Yeah, he's a little kid friend.
Fucking.
No, you're thinking of
in
Lost Boys, no?
Lost Boys, yeah.
Okay.
Lost Boys.
I don't remember him in the Gremlins.
Yeah, I think he is.
But
He's really young in it.
Is that part of it? Is it a thing in society, and
Well,
especially
he
for
says
these?
that he's fucked up because guys molested him. Guys molested Corey Haim.
But that's what I'm saying, man. Is like, there's that the two Corys, there's that documentary or whatever as well. But that's what I'm saying. Like these producers, or it's like an element of society in general, or these guys who are powerful because they realized long ago they weren't beautiful in any sense of the word. I don't mean just physically. Maybe they were good looking physically, but they weren't they weren't capable of creating anything beautiful, or they didn't have that magic about them or whatever. So they became powerful because once you accept that, you can make fucking shitty business decisions or horrible, that fuck other people over, and you can get to a position of power. And then when they look at like these talented young You know, and you can't be
Doesn't
that,
matter how
but
powerful it-
you can destroy it.
Yeah.
And is that sort of, you know what I mean?
I
To
think you're
just
right,
like
man.
you look at a gorgeous flower and go, yeah, but I can just fucking. Do they get just some
just shout
sick
them.
satisfaction out of that? Do you know what I mean?
Jesus, that's him. Right?
Jesus, man. As
And
a
like when you look at why he,
chubby
you
little
know,
kid.
God bless him. God
Yeah.
fucking bless him.
crazy, man, crazy.
But I mean, was there any other points or parts you wanted? Again, like I suppose it's a creepy industry, isn't it? We know it's a creepy industry.
But do you know what? In a way, there's
I think Jamie Spears should be ashamed of himself. We should kill him.
there's an interesting. I think just fucking. I
Leave
don't
the
know.
matter.
I think he's probably.
Door.
I think he's
Put
pretty
him on tour.
in
It's
a little
Jamie,
skirt.
bitch.
Yeah. That'd be hilarious. Yeah. But I think I think he's probably pretty miserable as it is. I wouldn't worry too much about him. But about him seeing punishment or whatever. But isn't there kind of an interesting thing that they were able to control when the media were when it was all paid for and the media were playing their part because there was money to be made on the big circus. They never had to worry about how their control of her image was absolute. Like you were saying, Rob, it all came from their camp and the media. Just were on their side or played into their hands. But that's been undone now because social media. And look, it's one of the. I think social media is bad in so many different ways, but it's democratized now that people were actually able to take command of the narrative.
They sort of make
now,
a point that when Instagram came along, she got to post videos of herself every day, and that's when people started to go, "Well, wait a minute,
Hang on,
she lives in a
what's
house. She's got two fucking kids." And like, there's actually a couple of she does a Woody Woodpecker impression. It's really sweet and all, but there's something so weird about it because you're just like she looks like she's being held captive.
But
That's what she, and I don't mean she just looks suppressed. Do you know what I
there's
mean?
footage of her son's birthday party or something, and you're just like, that's not faked at all. There isn't. It's not like, hey, I'm just with my kid. Like they're having such fun. She's obviously she loves her kids, and she's just a fucking. I don't know. I'd never seen her as a human being in the way that I fucking did.
I agree with you, and so they
because I was a sap man. I fucking
They check it. They do screen what she says as well.
do they on the thing, but still,
They
they're
what?
not gonna have a.
They have a look at what before she puts it out.
Yeah.
Still in charge of that.
Yeah, of course.
really?
Yeah. Sure, there was.
Fucking hell, man.
Conspiracies, like in the comments, they'd say like, wear yellow in your next post if you think you need help, and then she wore yellow in her next.
Wow.
There are
Fuck.
people like drawing some.
That's such a good
dot to dot.
Black
Jesus,
Mirror
what if it is
fucking.
like that, man?
Or remember she was saying like her favorite film, and she was like, "Oh, my favorite film's Frozen because the sister's caught up in the tower and she needs to be rescued."
Oh,
and everything. Yeah.
I wouldn't have, I
Or
do
there's like a
remember that.
picture of a hole in a wall. Now there's a guy in the documentary who, in fairness, does kind of go,
They're
look,
a
if
bit
you
of a
want to
stretch.
believe anything, you can find it.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. There's a picture of a hole in the wall.
Why don't you
There's a
just pull
picture.
up
There's
there?
like a picture of a
Where's
hole
it
in the
at
wall
currently?
she took, and the caption is, "Please help me, I'm being it's my will." And I'm just saying, I don't want to read into anything, but I
dad's
maybe
in
I'm
the
crazy.
Illuminati.
Maybe I'm crazy. But
Can we just sort of just to wrap it up? Maybe can we pull up where it's at currently? What's the latest? Do we know anything more? Like, is Jamie Spears still the Conservative? Because what we will say is then at one point last year, Jamie Spears is still the Conservator, but at her request, at Britney's request, a bank, like a fiduciary, is going to be Britney.
fiduciary. This guy
Fiduciary.
puts the douche in fiduciary.
Britney Spears loses bid to end Star conservatorship. Britney Spears loses her bid to end. Why don't you just say the fucking headline twice?
I can't.
douchebags?
It can't.
Time to end
I don't think it
Never
can last
perform
though.
again.
I don't
as,
think.
as a result, she may never perform. Because here's another thing I was thinking, right?
Yeah.
This is the vicious circle of it. It's just like, well, why don't you just quit, love? Why don't you retire and take your money and retire? And surely no one then can make deals on your behalf, etc., etc., etc. Or maybe I'm wrong about that.
Do you know
But
what
the
I?
other
Do
thing
you know
about-
what? Yeah, sorry, go on.
Sorry,
yeah,
if
yeah.
you don't mind.
No, yeah.
Don't mind there, then.
Order.
Just
Odza.
because at one point it says in around 2008 they use her kids So it's like there is, or it is mentioned, it's implied that maybe in order not to, and I've been in those situations, not like that, but it's like you're looking at this thing. It's like if I fucking lose it here, this is going in the shits for me, and I really want this thing more than I care about this thing. And so if I fucking lose it, they're gonna take my kids off me. That's a really vicious, awful sort of thing to do on someone, to hold someone about. And then right after that, they start drip feeding her visitation rights and this sort of stuff. You know what I mean?
She's like Jessie in fucking Breaking Bad at the end, really. Isn't
I never
she?
watched
Like
Breaking Bad.
making her make meth. Anyway, yeah, go on, yeah.
And I totally forgot what I was going to say.
See, I keep doing that. And now it's back to me.
Now I'm holding the conch.
Now, but there was yeah. What was the thing you said?
Fuck off.
What was the thing you said before about? Oh, now I've done it to myself. But there was something you said before about she's lost the legal battle or whatever. But it's like the arc.
Oh, sorry, can I just...
Yeah. No, please jump in. I actually fucked my thing.
So basically, so they're using that to sort of imply and take control over the thing about the kids. But the other side of it is like going... And you see this, like the only time she probably feels totally, or not the only time, but probably one of the main times in her life where she feels, and they sort of imply this, like at ease, is when she's actually performing. That's the loaded gun to her head. It's like, well, you want to perform, then we do all it, you know.
Do you know what it is?
You
Really more than that.
can't just walk away and shut yourself off and go, no, do you know what, fuck you, or any, because actually... They probably know that's what really keeps her alive.
Yeah, but as well as that, man, think of the momentum behind it. She's got a choreographer, she's got a costumes lady, she's got someone doing her hair, a whole team of people. And all it takes is, it's not just her retiring if she wants to quit.
Okay.
They're all fucking fired. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear that.
So you've got all of these, because it's the same when you see... some actor
of dependence.
Exactly, and you see some actor, a lot of who are making like shitty films, and you're thinking, why are you doing this fucking thing? It's like because you've got all these people, you need to,
right. I never would have thought about that now. I suppose it's like
just
for all his crap movies, Adam Sandler probably made a lot of people rich.
Yeah,
or well off.
Giving you content as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, true. Yeah. He's on. He's all in the mix. Sandler.
I like that.
Oh, it's the Sandman. I fucking love Adam Sandler, man.
He's made some of the worst movies
I'm
ever
glad we
made,
can agree on that. Yeah.
But it's he just was like,
Really bad.
Some of them are terrible. Some of them are the worst shit.
Yeah.
But certainly,
like
Click or something.
Click, yeah, where he's like doing the thing in the mirror. Is he sitting there going?
It's hard to believe that it's real. It's surreally crap.
But it's kind of like, it's like, hey, you've got a good funny instinct. What if we took out all the edge to that material, which is kind of the thing you're selling, and made this as relatable to just fucking people in the Midwest?
I think he just got into his...
Like Dr. Peppers and stuff. There'll be like 20 of them.
That's how they kind of make their money.
Yeah, but that's my point. He was over.
Hey, we're out of Dr. Peppers. What have I told you? Always stock up on Dr. Pepper. Always get more for the weekend. Yeah.
But he wanted to make bank. He knew that because he was on Saturday Night Live in his 20s and he got fucked off with Chris Farley. He was 30 by the time he made. And funny enough, Happy Gilmore's not the first one. I always thought Happy Gilmore,
Mr. D's is still funny.
What?
Mr. D's.
But Billy Madison was the first big hit, and Happy Gilmore came after that.
What about Big Daddy? When was that?
Big Daddy. I'll look at the timeline again, but the point is that at some point they just were like, let's turn this into a movie factory.
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck? Because he was in his 20s. Living the dream on Saturday Night Live, but the reality of it is, and if you would listen to Bobby Lee, he says a lot of this stuff. Those good paying gigs, as soon as they're over, they know money. You know what I mean? And he's in his 20s and he thinks that was my gig. So you get a shot, make a load of bank out of movies. I don't give a fuck what they're like.
Funny people then as well, which was kind of.
Well, he's also done some amazing.
Piss out of his own career.
Yeah, for sure.
He plays a mermaid.
Yeah, he's Aquaman or something.
He's good, man. And I mean, he's amazing in
Hidden Gems.
And
Hidden Gems, man. Uncut Gems, Hidden Gems. Uncut Gems.
Hidden Gems.
Hidden Gems.
You made us both look stupid. But what about that chick in Uncut Gems?
Yeah.
She's the finest pure I've ever seen, man. And they just plucked her out off the streets or something.
Yeah.
You want to the safties, they knew what they were up to. It's just like, oh, no, I really want to fuck that chick. Let's write a movie and fuck getting actresses. We're going to put that bitch
And we'll get
in
fucking who'll do anything. Sandler, get Sandler.
Get Sandra in. And look at the culo on that mat. Let's get her in here. Oh my God.
Damn.
So look, maybe we'll wrap it up, will we? I mean, do you know what we did?
That, no, I could have just undid all.
Yeah, all the other things we said.
Okay,
yeah.
edit that bit. We'll totally.
Yeah.
Listen, at the end of the day, here's the thing. I'm a man. I can think of, you know what I mean? I can feel for Britney Spears and we can do, I'll just forget it.
No, man, no, that's kind of...
No, but yeah, that's my point I was making before.
Yeah.
I'm not, my empathy and my compassion for the Britney Spears
And my
situation
balls are
is
two
not
very
fake,
different
but at the
things.
same time, man likes culo. Man looks at a woman's bum and like, Jesus Christ, the woman in Uncut James is one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. And I mean,
Speaking of which, big shout out to Denise Chyla, one of the most beautiful creatures.
and talented creatures
forget about
on
her.
the
Forget
scene
about it.
right now. Jesus,
She has
man.
a
Yeah,
song
big
called,
things ahead of her. Of all of these,
She's going to be
got big things ahead of her.
Denise Chyla is going to be the biggest thing that ever came out of this country.
Yeah, she's got
I
such
swear to God, and
attitude.
it's not just because she's the most
She is,
beautiful
she's,
thing I've ever
incredibly
seen.
beautiful, yeah.
She's seriously talented. That Unshot tune, I love it. What's My Name? I love it. But she has a tune called Copper Bullet, and you know, there's a big Irish hip hop thing going on at the moment. I'm not the biggest fan of a lot of the Irish MCs. I don't like the content of a lot of them. I don't know what it is, and we'll maybe get into it. She fucking, on that Copper Bullet tune, man, she nails, she kills all MCs.
I think all-
like, kills them all.
Pretty much all the Irish hip hop that I've listened to that works has got even just a little bit of the tongue in cheek thing to it. That's what I would say.
yeah.
Because it's slightly funny, no matter who you are. It's slightly funny that you're a rapper from Ireland. That's just always going to be slightly funny.
Get past that.
White rapper as well, I suppose.
Yeah.
True. But she has that. She has that little bit of there's
But at the
in her
same time, look
swagger.
at- listen
There's
to-
a little bit of she's talking about chicken shop, Philip, whatever, fucking. You know what I mean? She's
If you're
there's a-
looking for your black James Bond
Bond
Unshot, Snack Box.
Snack Box, you know what I mean? She's rapping about snack
or
boxes.
Taxi, Spice Box by the Central.
She's not trying to pretend she's from fucking LA or whatever. You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. That's
Yeah,
and
okay,
She's got that. Anyway, that's just my little. She's got that, and she's got that fucking Snoop
Oh,
Dogg
she's a
swagger
superstar.
on the fucking
She's
shit,
a
man. She's
superstar.
unbelievable,
Forget
yeah.
about it. She's a superstar.
Yeah.
She's gonna be big, yo.
Yeah.
Pretty big.
And I hope, man,
Really
I hope
big.
that's
I hope
changed.
I get to become her conservator
I
someday.
don't know if I don't know if that if they're already looking. They
No, you didn't.
yeah.
I'm not editing that.
You're living with that. You gotta learn.
Please edit it, please
You gotta
edit
get
it.
burned to
I want
learn.
everyone to think I'm all right.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck, man. So I have a podcast, therapy.
But it's a good, we haven't, me and Rob haven't been let out of here in 6
Hey,
months.
these motherfuckers haven't used the toilet in a week.
And yeah, this guy can fart every fucking time he likes. But I hope it's
Honestly, all joking aside, all whatever aside, wholeheartedly, hashtag free Britney.
Free Britney, man. And I hope it's changing. I hope it's different now for
Apparently, like,
women coming up in the
getting out of
industry and everything.
conservatorship
But
is just impossible. That's what one of the lawyers says, and it's just like,
seriously, yeah.
it doesn't happen. Now, obviously, the
It's the-
dynamic is different because she's not the usual person who would be in a conservatorship. So maybe by that effect, we could have a different than usual outcome. But let's.
I
probably
feel like,
Probably
man,
not.
if the momentum's behind it, they get them in their pocket. And this is the one thing about, there's about, cancel culture has, like, took out fucking R. Kelly, man, that's fucking
sure.
amazing, right?
I mean, if you can't piss in a 15-year-old's face.
Then what the hell? Man, there were
Sorry, you're
9.
saying that's a good thing.
Yeah.
You're saying the positive effects of
Exactly.
cancel culture.
Because
thought you were
I forget
fuck
that.
cancel culture.
They took out R. Kelly.
What about R. Kelly? My favourite recording artist. He's gone.
But actually, in a way, maybe that
Do you wanna
sums,
know
it sums up, so you say,
a funny-
there you go.
Yeah. I can't. Oh yeah, funny enough, the R.
Thought I
Kelly
got him
thing.
again. Thought I got him again. Yeah.
You know, if you listen to like the world's greatest, and you look at R. Kelly's face, you're thinking, yeah, of course that's what a fucking like sociopathic nutcase, narcissistic weirdo pisses in teenagers' faces. Of course, that's the song you're going to write. Bonnie Prince Billy does a cover version of that song, and you can only listen to it on YouTube, I think. So type in one day Bonnie Prince Billy World's Greatest, and when you change the perspective or the truth of who's singing it, It's a fucking amazing song.
right,
Amazing
okay.
song.
Yeah,
You're just like,
yeah.
you don't see this like, you don't see R. Kelly, you see, and you're just like going, Jesus, so uplifting.
See that he was a fucking incredibly talented guy, right? You have
Oh my God.
Listen. I remember watching all 9 parts of that documentary over a weekend
What?
with
Yeah,
my ex-girlfriend, Surviving R. Kelly,
Never
and
seen it.
and you're just like, this is so devastating, and you're watching this series of women sitting in front of the camera and telling their story, and you realize just how much of a motherfucker this guy was. Like, you know, he even had that relationship he had with Aaliyah, and it was all done in the public, and he wrote that song for her called Age Is Just a Number. Age is just a number, baby. It's insane, right? Watch this.
didn't
It's just
know
like, it's insane.
This one as well.
And yeah, fucking play this shit.
Play
Actually.
this.
He's recruiting in
He's playing a gig in Ethiopia.
How do I press play on it?
Down.
Am I here on it?
No, yeah, you're up at the top there. Down.
Maybe just
down.
click that, yeah. Click that.
I got it. Do you have your passport? Did you get your shots? Girl, would you like to come back with Rob to America?
Oh my God!
Did you get your shots?
Do you have
He
your
wasn't an
passport?
anti-vaxxer. Now that is one thing you have to say about R. Kelly. He wasn't an anti-vaxxer.
Get your shots.
So for anyone who can't hear this, we're looking at R. Kelly doing the gig in Ethiopia, and he's singing, "Do you have your passport? Did you get your shots? Do you want to come back to America with rock?"
Now actually,
Have your passport.
hearing that from another perspective,
He's just singing. He's
like
like,
a back to America, yeah.
"Oh my gosh!" The link for this is going to be in the comments.
On stage, like.
Okay.
But this is the thing, man. This is the thing. We watched that, and it was horrible. And I still, at one point, I was like, all right, I'm going to pop down the shops to get us, I don't know, whatever, get us a few tins or whatever. And I put in, and I started playing. Now, I don't normally do this, but right about now, I was like, I couldn't help it. I was like, because they play it. There's a couple
Bounce,
clips of it.
bounce, 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 bounce.
Dude, I was saying to him,
bounce.
I was saying,
It's like
all this guy
murderous
does when he
road.
goes to jail is, now, Mr. Kelly, I believe you've chosen to represent yourself. Yes, I have, Your Honor. Would you like to read your opening statement to the jury? Well, I don't normally do this, but right about now, I'm about to hit you with Now, I'm trying to be cool. They'd all be in the fucking jury box. Can I get that boop, boop? Can I get that not guilty? Running my hands through my throat. You know what I mean? It's why was that? And they even Spotify, I remember at the time, registered that like loads more people were listening to R. Kelly tunes the weekend that thing came out. In other words, I'm trying to say he perfectly represents that thing of one of the worst motherfuckers imaginable, but then so fucking how he had that gift, you know what I mean? He had that gift, kind of.
What, that Roman Polanski gift?
Yeah,
He was really good at drugging teenagers.
getting away with it for years and still having a career. And maybe,
And in fact,
but maybe that's why. Yeah, I guess that's why people. They just so didn't want to believe it. They so didn't
I
want to believe
suppose
it.
really
Yeah.
the moral of this whole situation, and Hollywood and the music industry and the movie industry is a perfect example, is human beings are scumbags. You give us enough power and money and we fucking turn into lunatics.
Yeah.
Lizard
And
fucking
up until now,
pedos.
you look at R. Kelly, who did all of that shit and got away with it, and you look at Britney Spears, who did fucking nothing but be a exemplary,
And, is he
a
caught in a
wonderful,
living nightmare?
creative, and they fucking destroyed her. And maybe let's finish on this. Let's have equality so that women can be as horrible as men are now,
malevolent
as
men are.
malevolent, as destructive and
Perfect.
greedy as men are now.
See,
Yeah,
but it doesn't work because men are those things, and like
yeah, that's
Anxiety.
it's like the
reprisal
anxiety.
That's what. Oh my God, we've
Yeah,
been marginalising women for so long. We don't want them
Because
to.
we're terrified of what they do to us, yeah. And it runs, it's so
you see,
endemic in
that's the
society.
thing about
Runs
it,
through
and that's-
society. We were raised on it, you know.
Men and women are. See, the thing about it is the shitty things that men do. 9 times out of 10, women will never do them. Doesn't matter. Although, like, I remember going to the Imperial War, the Holocaust exhibition in the Imperial War Museum in London, and like, there was some hardcore.
Turns out that was all women, all the SS. You never notice it before.
But
Have
there
you
was-
actually watched
there was
Schindler's
one.
List?
There was one. No, but I mean, it's extremely rarefied, but it did happen in a couple of occasions in that situation in Nazi Germany where the women turned into these like Ralph Fiennes characters, just going around willy-nilly murdering.
Man, you look at the Khmer Rouge, you know that Pol Pot shit? Kids, man, like that is the craziest thing to me, that they just decided, the communists took over the country and just decided that kids would go around and they just point. They were the guardians of the revolution. You had these like 8 and 9-year-olds, and this go around and go, him, and you're taking off, you're gone, you're dead.
Pol Pot was
you're
an
in the
lunatic.
killing
He used to
fields.
kill people like that wore glasses because he thought they were smart.
Yeah. And they'd be like,
He killed all the animals.
anyone who speaks
Killed all
French.
he like wiped out loads of animals and shit like
A
this.
baboon looked at him funny, and he just had them all killed. But yeah, man, yeah. Basically, I'm saying, if given the opportunity, what would you be? What would you become if you know?
I would love to go, I'd just be this altruistic, empathic human being, but the reality is I'd probably become a psychotic fucking douchebag with a fucking $2,000 suit and a big cocaine addiction problem and a prostitute problem.
Yeah.
Like,
But I think it's like
I
I think you may be good but part of that is because
over
of the
I'm not leaving.
the repression that we have, right? You know what I mean? That it's like what's that fucking film, Rob, with the Rumblefish, right?
Ah, yeah.
You know, he says the line about the Japanese fighting fish that they always fight the shit out of each other. But
It's actually from Siam, those fish.
the
Siamese, which is Thai.
is it in Thailand? Is that where Siam is?
Siam is Thailand.
It's Thailand. Oh, okay. Why'd they change like Ceylon? Sri Lanka used to be Ceylon.
Right, yeah.
And
It
before
was
then it
Ceylon.
was Ceylon. Yeah.
In the crowd.
That's what they used to shout from the
Ceylon.
beaches. Yeah.
40 anyways.
140. Get the fuck out of here.
What the
okay.
fuck?
Okay, all
I
right.
thought this ended 20 minutes ago.
But the
Hashtag
last,
free Britney.
yeah, free Britney. Man.
No, you sounded like you wanted to say something.
No, what was the opera? Huh? For the fighting fish. The
Yeah.
fish wouldn't fight if they were in the water, right? It's like I was talking about the fox hunting problem.
So when did
that-
they fight?
That, huh?
So they're in the tank if they're in the river, if they're free in the ocean. Like.
They'd be.
They kill each other.
But this is
That's
the
a
thing.
bullshit line.
This is the thing. Maybe a little bit. Maybe if everyone had total
don't like
liberty,
Rumblefish.
if everyone had total liberty, right? There might be a little bit of
knew that was
fucking
gonna
around.
get
Have
you.
you seen the film?
Yeah, I don't like it.
Well, look, we'll talk about that another day. But we'll have words off camera. But just it's the fox hunting thing. You know, in Britain they're always like, we can't ban fox hunting because the foxes will just run amok. They'll overbreed. And it's like, yeah, well, they breed at the rate they do because you kill so many of them. So yeah,
We better keep fucking. These guys are coming for
they're
us.
fucking coming, bro. That's a fox. That's a fox's sex music. But so if you ban fox hunting, there would be a few years. There'll be a few years where they do that, but eventually the population will settle out. And similarly, if you just fucking free everybody and you get rid of the social narratives and the rules, yeah, for a little while there might be some chaos, but eventually when people have to take responsibility for themselves, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When people realize that with great power comes great responsibility, with absolute freedom comes total accountability. Do you know what I
Okay,
mean?
yeah, totally.
Free Britney.
Free Britney. I think we flogged it. I really need a pee-pee. I'm
Yeah,
squirming.
I'm busting, man. I am busting.
It's